Alright, here we are back with our second best of two. We're round robin set of two, I guess would be the word for it. And let's take a look. Vici Gaming Potential, new series up against CDEC. Also CDEC, but it's CDEC. We were all told at TI5 that is the proper pronunciation, and that is what I'm going to go for as we take a look at this draft by both teams. Vici Gaming Potential, Chen again here. And now this time the clockwork, which is interesting. It's usually when you're with that Chen, it's that 4-5 split. We'll see. At least that's how IG played it. We'll see how Vici Gaming Potential play it. Then for CDEC, they go to the gyrocopter. They have the Witch Doctor as well. And then the bands are as follows: Elder Titan, Naga, Dark Willow, Faceless Void, Underlord for Vici Gaming Potential, and CDEC banning out the Tiny, Omni Knight, Sand King, Razor, and Lifestealer. So I'm your caster, B-Cop. I'm joined here today by Bottom of the Moon, and we are ready for this set of two in this second of three series for the first day of DPL Season 5. So Tidehunter picked up here for CDEC, and then right into the Monkey King pick for Vici Gaming Potential, and just trying to get your thoughts here with the first half of the draft completed.
So, first half of the draft is gone. You're right on that one. We immediately saw the Monkey King coming out in response to the Titan, and no hesitation for Vici Gaming Potential. Means they're really comfortable with actually taking up the Monkey King. However, CDEC, look at their bands. You see Tiny, Omni Knight, Sand King, Razor, Lifestealer. These are like extremely common bands, and all of them are good against the gyrocopter. So again, just second pick gyro, team with the double pick snatches him up, and now they're just gonna play 4 protect 1, and with a really old school teamfight lineup. Look at all the teamfight coming in for CDEC.
Yeah, Disruptor, Static Storm, Tidehunter, Ravage, Witch Doctor, Death Ward. It seems like it's quite a bit from CDEC, and I do like that Faceless Void ban. I almost feel like it fits perfectly with CDEC's lineup.
Well, ideally you don't want the Faceless Void together with the Tidehunter, but I see where they're coming from. They don't want to have that backup thing where he potentially just drops the Chronosphere on top of the Monkey King or the Juggernaut. So that is understandable. However, they have a lineup that is really dependent on early timing ganks right now with the Chen coming out. So it's hard to say if CDEC ever gets online with their teamfight composition, or if Vici just runs them over with the Chen. And we've seen what they did with the Chen in the last game. It was perfect. Like, we had glorious rotations and like 6-7 kills early on, I believe.
I think it was like 11-11, sub 10 minutes. Something like that.
I know that we had 22 kills at like 10 minutes, which is pretty crazy.
And crazy for all regions. I mean, that's something I expect in CIS, but, you know, especially in China, where it's kind of, I would say, a little bit more pulled back. That was very crazy to see a bloodbath like that early.
Yeah, usually you see that calculated gameplay where they just set up, and then you have those 1-2 big clashes, one big team fight, and then it is over. But not this time. But looking at the remaining picks, I feel like a Death Prophet is in order for CDEC.
Take that Gyro mid, or would that put Gyro mid, or would that put Death Prophet mid?
So ideally you want to gyrocopter against the Monkey King, because Death Prophet, while she's okay against him, Monkey King tends to ruin the Tidehunter. So we might be looking at an aggressive lineup with Witch Doctor gyrocopter, taking reins to the Dire offlane, just going a little bit more aggressive, and then laning the Disruptor or letting the Disruptor roam to get Witch Doctor. You have two supports that are not particularly well off for roaming. So you really gotta pressure the Juggernaut, because Monkey King is gonna destroy the Tidehunter.
And Invoker.
Oh, Invoker.
Which...
And as that anti-team fight, I'm excited. Are you excited? I'm super excited for Invoker.
I'm excited for Invoker, for numerous reasons. reasons. One, Invoker has kind of fallen out of the meta. You know, you don't see Invoker anymore. Not the way you used to, at least. And recently in CIS Dota, I saw an Invoker finally do so well. You know, I had seen a couple of Invoker picks in a row just fizzle, do nothing. That was it. And
yeah, you mean where they just farm up, go Exalt, they have one setup, and they literally only commit the Sunstrike to every fight, right?
I mean, that was what this Invoker did as well, but it was so much different. It was top of the net worth Invoker. It was way different than the Invokers I've been seeing recently, and Invoker is a hero that gets me excited, ladies. But Invoker, I just feel like he hasn't been that exciting hero to watch recently. And now I want to see that again. That's what excites me, is the potential that he brings.
I agree. It is exciting just to see the potential coming out. Like, he could completely obliterate the team fight of CDEC. He can screw up pretty much everybody that is around the Monkey King, and he can actually force and set up stuff for the Monkey King in the fights. With a Juggernaut on top, that is kind of the... Yeah, they kind of want to close the gap between team fights with the Juggernaut and the Clockwork, just buying some more time for the next Monkey King build, for the next Invoker coming, for the next rotation, and just try to get ahead more steadily, and we're looking at a pretty deadly timing push.
Yeah. One thing to note, I believe the Monkey King is 4. And the Clockwork is offlane.
You sure?
Yeah, TZY was their
did
offlaner.
buy wards, true. So it is the roaming Monkey King. That is interesting. That's not something we usually see that much anymore.
Yeah, what is going on? What is that?
It's the chat wheel. Something for everybody.
No. The Monkey King was just, like...
He's a courier.
Was he the courier? He was not the size of the courier. He was, like, an elongated version of the courier. It was actually really weird.
Strange.
If you catch it, I don't know if you have the stream open on the side. It was interesting. One thing to note, too, CDC. It's a little bit of a new lineup for them. Cmu, I think, is a staple of CDC recently. I feel like I remember him on a couple other teams. SGR was an Eclipse member earlier, I would say a couple months ago. Setsu as well came from another team. This is like, and I don't want to put it this way, but I feel like it's the only way I can kind of explain it. The rejects of some teams here for CDC, of a bunch of Chinese teams coming in at this moment. Not to say they're not good, but
they're definitely not, they're definitely good. Like we talked about it in the last series, that you can pretty much mash up 5 Chinese players that are playing on a high level, and you're gonna have at least a mediocre. Oh my god! Now I see the big courier. You're gonna have at least a mediocre team, and with mediocre I mean still better than NA Dota, that's for sure. But
yeah, I feel like any Chinese Dota team you put together has an opportunity in multiple regions, I would say. Almost. Well, I would say for sure NA, for sure South America. I would almost stretch it as far as to say they could take on the CIS region.
Wouldn't stretch it that far. I think CIS is
qualifier-wise.
A region.
Qualifier-wise. Not the teams that are automatically invited. But qualifier-wise, I think they could definitely make it.
I can see that argument, but I still feel like CIS has a lot of momentum right now. They have a lot of big stacks coming out with big names that play really well. We're going to see a lot more from them, or from the CIS region in general. It's one of the fastest evolving regions right now. Together with SA, actually, but SA is another topic, I guess.
I feel like SA and... How do I explain this? Because I have like a weird metaphor for it, but it's not one that people understand in a way. Like...
It sounds like a pretty bad metaphor, then.
Yeah, it's really bad. When the UFC first existed, fighters were specialized in one line of fighting. They were either a wrestler, a boxer, or, you know, a jiu-jitsu artist, or this. They were never more than one. Now, there's fighters or mixed martial artists, and it takes a while for something to build. And I feel like SA is building. They are finding their building blocks of becoming a competitive region. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense when I say it.
You know, because I think you're completely right on that one. That is really a bad metaphor.
Yes, thank you. Ooh, Cold Snap comes out. They've also got the Ensnare. Setsu in a little bit of trouble with DY continuing to move on forward. Here's the TP from the Disruptor. They try for the damage. Oh, one more shot. Go King with the first blood.
That almost went sour, just considering there were like 4, if not 5 upper misses out of like 6 attacks. That would have been so sad to miss a first blood because you hit up high ground from this small position over here.
Yeah.
That would be pretty disastrous.
I was surprised because we saw him get hit so many times with just a bunch of misses. But yes, my my analogy or metaphor, I forget what it is. I think it's analogy. It was pretty bad, but I understand what I mean. Glimpse back, and they found themselves Alucard, and they are going to get that kill. Setsu will clean up that Invoker.
That was really nice that it just exerted so much pressure early on already in the mid lane. It just, on the other hand, you're looking at a Tide Hunter versus the Jug lane, so Tide is going to get ahead on this. He's already maxing the spin, but it's a Tide Hunter. He's always going to get some farm, and he's sitting on top of the lasted shard already. Storm kind of even at the playing field. Wait, do you want to lane this like this? You have a Chen. Like, they're using Chen Monkey King, which is exciting. That's like a really unique roaming combo you usually don't see. But Disrupt the Witch Doctor, it feels like we stack, we pull, we maybe zone out the Clockwork, but not more.
I mean, it could definitely work. I feel like they also have to be careful of the Storm. Like, I feel like we just saw Storm get out of control. Vici Gaming Potential, especially being the ones who just did that, need to be careful with that Storm. And I think their Monkey King and Chen combination need to shut down the Storm Spirit. While what you were saying is, yes, they need to stack and find themselves a little bit to shut down this Clockwork, but I don't know if shutting down the Clockwork's as important as shutting down the Storm Spirit, in my opinion. But over top, they've got the Battery Assault. Rocket Barrage comes out. TZY in a little bit of trouble. SGR makes it away. They've got the Maledict. Meanwhile, mid, Setsu goes down. Rocket Barrage again. And they will take out TZY. So it ends up being a 1-for-1 trade that is, I would say, more favorable in the favor of Vici Gaming Potential.
Really good rotation coming in. Once more killing off the Storm Spirit. Like, you just said it, and then they immediately smoke up and half that impact, so everything I said is completely invalid, as usual.
So, nice. It was nicely done there to clean up Setsu. I didn't exactly get to see it happen, just because I was watching top and watching TZY die. And I don't have 2 monitors. Oop. Boundless Strike hits on the SGR. There's the Primal Spring into the Bouncing Cask. SGR staying alive for now. Something interesting is no Jingu Mastery for Monkey King.
Yeah, that is pretty standard. Gonna be surprised if he actually takes it up on level 3. Ooh, you're not waiting here.
Kinetic Field comes out. DY with the Thunder Strike on him as well, waiting, trying to get the kill, but there's the send back from Go King.
It's not getting killed there. DD ran out just in time to save the Monkey King.
So, what do you think? CDEC, I mean, top 3 is all their cores. They look like they're doing quite a good job. You take a look, the Clockwork glimpsed into the Kinetic Field. It's going to be another kill here for CDEC if TZY can't find his way out. And there's the Cask with the Maledict, and another kill there for CDEC. They look really good right now, actually.
It is a nice rotation. It's a jar. Whenever a Gyrocopter actually gets killed and doesn't get killed early on, he's gonna have a good time. Face boots are up. He's gonna head for the jumps up next for sure, and then they're just gonna try and snowball with that. And considering that the Storm is doing quite okay in the mid lane, actually outperforming the Invoker by quite a margin, they have all the potential on their side.
Ooh, Penance comes out on a waiting. There's the Stone Toss, waiting in a lot of trouble. A cast bouncing around. Kinetic Field's gonna land, but they've got nothing to follow this up. Vici Gaming Potential will get the kill in a waiting. And that's Storm doing well after getting taken out twice mid. So that's, to me, pretty impressive from Setsu to kind of really make this lane work.
It's not only a Storm Spirit, besides the fact that he has the Regeneration Rune. Best rune you can get on him.
Kinetic Field comes out, Boundless Strike hits on 3, there's the Primal Spring. This could be trouble for CDEC. They are very close together, and there's a kill for Alucard. Setsu, as well as Waiting, are going to survive, but very nicely done by DY to land that Boundless Strike as well as get the Primal Spring in there enough to get the kill.
Let's talk about this tide. He's completely dominating his lane. He's having the time of his life bottom. Face boots up on tide even. He's super farmed, and even in net worth, he's 400 gold above the Invoker and the Storm Spirit. Like, he's doing great. He's level 7. He out-leveled the Juggernaut pretty much solo. I don't feel like there's any threat to him on the lane.
So, one of the things I've been noticing about Tidehunters recently is their reluctance to throw the Ravage. Here's the Blade Fear with the Boundless Strike as well as the Primal Spring. They've got the TB. Penitence comes out. There is the TP stopped, and they'll get the kill on the Tidehunter. You jinxed them. First of all, I gotta say you jinxed them. He completely complimented his lane, and the second you started saying that...
Cast his curse.
The second you started talking about how well he was doing, he died. But that being said...
he's still doing decent.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That being said, he's still doing decent. He's got Phase Boots. Do you like Phase Boots on Tide? As over mid, Alucard glimpse back. Rocket Barrage comes out. Setsu's here. They'll get the kill. And they clean up the Invoker. Meanwhile, TZY gets the kill on the Witch Doctor over top.
Nice and easy rotation from the Gyrocopter. Surely bolster up his last sitting together with the net worth quite nicely. It should be way calmer game than it is. Like, on one side there's a Chen, on the other side there's pretty much no aggressive hero, but CDEC still manages to find some kills here and there. That's quite impressive.
They're using Glimpse early, almost like too effectively. I feel like we see Disruptors not really able... He's using it almost every time it's on off cooldown. It's up, he's going to use it to try and get a chase. And I feel like that's not a style of play we see Disruptors really go for. We see them more trying to harass with Thunderstrike, sitting in lane, trying to win a lane. But Waiting's been all over the map. And I know they only have 4 kills, but he's not only been disruptive, but he's been there to get 3 out of the 4 kills.
I must say I like his playstyle though. Even though he's gonna get on here.
Yeah, over bottom the Blade Fury comes out, Waiting in a lot of trouble. Fairy Fire not going to keep him alive, or I believe that was the Fairy Fire he tried to eat. But the Anchor Smash comes out on to life, no color. They won't be able to get the return kill on the Juggernaut. They do lose that Disruptor, so a little bit too far forward that time around. And again, still the Ravage up on the Tide.
I must say, going back to the question of the Disruptor with the aggressive glimpse, I feel like it's the right play, considering what lanes can you actually harass. Like, you have a Juggernaut on the bot lane, you're not gonna harass him out of lane. In the mid lane, there's sitting an Invoker who's getting exiled with some points in quals, so he has that region up and running, and you can always get cold snapped up and run danger. At the top lane, there's
Ball Lightning, Electric Vortex on Alucard. They try to get the kill. Setsu actually doesn't get hit by the cold snap that comes in on a creep. Interestingly enough, but they also are going to send 2 heroes here. Simu again coming over towards mid. This is the Gyrocopter we were talking about, making those rotations with the Glimpse, Kinetic Field, Ball Lightning. Down goes Alucard again. Wow.
Nobody expects the minute 10 Gyro gank in the mid lane twice.
Yeah, for the second time. That's
just not a hero you have on your radar.
This is such an aggressive playstyle from CDEC. Boundless Strike comes through. TZY gets the kill. Simu here with Waiting, and Waiting, he has Glimpse in just a moment. You got to be careful if you're Vici Gaming Potential.
Level 4 battery assault is definitely a force to reckon with, especially when you have 2 extremely squishy supports coming out. Both Disruptor and the Witch Doctor, they fall in no time against this battery assault.
And again, Battery Assault. Cogs comes out. There's the call down with the Boundless Strike. Primal Spring. Seamew low, but really not much trouble. The Sunstrike gets thrown, but it's not doing anything. Homing Missile is there, and 2 kills go the way of CDEC. Wow.
Thanks from above, indeed. Just another kill on the Gyrocopter. He's doing fantastic right now. He's sitting on a solid 2-0 with 4 assists and going.
It just feels like, yes, they're down in kills, and it has bit them a little bit, but CDC are using this aggression really, really well with what they've got. And I think they're really trying to shut down this Invoker, someone I talked about earlier, with a Glimpse comes through. They've got the Electric Vortex, Ball Lightning forward, and there's an easy kill. They even it up at 8. This is an Invoker I was talking about, kind of needs a good early game to come online in any sort of the sense, and I feel like that's just not going to happen at this point. He's been killed off 4 times in 12 minutes, and they haven't used Ravage, they haven't Static Stormed him, they've just been able to kill him.
Yeah, and he's still getting a little bit short on the Midas. How's the recipe? It's still 200 gold until he has it. And that's 12 minutes in. Like, there's also no upgraded face boots. He went for 2 new talisman, but he had those fairly early on just to stay up on par with the Storm Spirit, which he couldn't even manage because Storm Spirit, yeah, he just completely outclassed him in the mid lane with those ganks coming in, and now he's actually farming jungle quite comfortably.
TZY, he's got to be very careful. They have Glimpse to work with. There's the kinetic field. That locks him in, but how long? It's actually a Glimpse back into the hands of Seamew and Setsu.
Getting Rocket Barrage. Level Rocket Barrage, and actually decides to go for the Mask of Madness build as well, so we're looking at a... Yeah, we're just gonna have a really aggressive lineup with the Gyrocopter. That's that timing push coming in. CDC wants the team fight. They don't want to give any space to the Monkey King or the Invoker to come online, especially after they dominated the lane so much. It feels like there's just no setup for the Invoker beside this. Yes, they have the Clockwork, but when did we actually see a Sunstrike into the Power Cogs this game? I don't think we've seen one, but...
What's crazy is this Witch Doctor and Disruptor have been doing so much work, but yet still the Disruptor is below in net worth. Like, I feel like he's just done so much. I feel like...
I mean, that's kind of what Disruptor does, right? You have some levels, you have Glimpse, and Glimpse is just one of the most powerful relocation spells in the game, if not the most powerful. Shards up there as well, the reset button from the Naga is there, with the Song of the Siren. But other than that, what really is there? It's just Glimpse. You can glimpse somebody back for where they were 4 seconds ago, which means if you time it right, you're gonna have a unique advantage over your enemy every time.
Ooh, Primal Spring, and I think that's right into a couple of Euros. Rocket Barrage, Homing Missile, 10 kills for CDC. And I was going to say, it's in the name, Disruptor. He disrupts this lineup so well. And Blade Fury comes through. There's the call down with the Glimpse Static Storm. They don't even need Ravage. Realistically, they don't even need Ravage. Seamew double kill, 4 Heroes bottom. This should be a tier 1 for CDEC. And they've got about a 65% win percentage. They look really good, and they actually send the Tide over top to just keep away the side of Vici Gaming potential.
You just keep dodging pretty much any fights from the side of potential. Just, do you want to be there? Like, where's that Shen impact? Like, he has that medallion, he has those mana boots, but you just don't have anything to do here. There's 2 squishy supports, which you can't gank because there's a Storm Spirit on the field. There's a Tide Hunter sitting in front, who is insanely farmed at this point. Faced Rom Soul Ring, now going for the Hood of Defiance. And then you have CB on the Gyrocopter as well, who's sitting on a Yasha and Mask of Madness as well as Face Boots. He's just gonna run everybody who wants down.
Yeah, Seamew is really impressing me right now, and I've been keeping up with him for quite some time. I love this. This is one of the things I love about following a region very closely, and, you know, obviously I should be following all regions this closely, but there's something about it that really hits me in my heart for Chinese Dota. Just, it's what I started with. I love seeing these players come up and really start to find their own, find their element, and this aggression from CDC, seeing players like Seamew, Setsu, play so well as SGR. A couple of these guys, you know, coming from Eclipse and being on different teams, but finally finding a form that works. It's awesome. It's awesome to see this and see players just do so well. And they're doing really well. And I go back to the fact that Vici Gaming Potential split a series with IG. And to me, CDEC, at least at this moment, look like the stronger team.
Yeah, it's like, it's also kind of wild card with all the roster changes, so we didn't really know what to expect out of this game. On the other hand, we did expect IG to completely run over Potential, and they managed to have a really insane game too.
Ooh, hook shot comes through onto mid. SGR, he'll be killed off. TZY gets that one, but that's just a Witch Doctor. I really don't think that... I think that's almost worth it to die for value of the hook shot. And they might be setting up to make a fight happen here as they've got the Tide, they've got the Gyrocopter, they look over at Life No Color. The damage is huge! Wow, just getting away.
Kicking on the run as well. Not really chasing potentially. Yeah, SNY picked up on the Gyrocopter. More movement speed for the Gyro King.
Balance Strike, there's the Battery Assault, Wukong's command, Sunstrike on a Quan. Thinking about that Ravage, finally lets it loose, and they'll get the kill onto the Monkey King. Static Storm on a 2, but DY gets out for a moment, glimpse back in. There's another couple of kills here for Seamew. Triple kill in his favor, and CDC lose nothing. That was perfect. Yeah, destroying them.
That was just holding onto the Ravage until the perfect setup comes for the Gyrocopter, and that's just Tide being tanky with the Hood of Defiance. That's just Tide in the front line, not caring about either the Monkey King or the Clockwork in general, and just waiting for the Gyrocopter to rotate in. He's gonna have a nice little bonus there. It's gonna be the fast BKB, and they're not gonna stop. Like, as soon as that BKB comes, or it might as well still be the Butterfly. They're gonna push hard, and that's for sure.
Yeah, they're snowballing very hard right now, and CDC are really impressing me. Just, they're playing their style of Dota, which is very aggressive, which is not something you see really too often in Chinese Dota, is this heavy aggression. This kind of reminds me more of CIS, but it's working right now, and I think they do lose the Tide over top, but that is going to be at the cost of Omni Slash. I think CDC, they have a good snowball lineup right now where they could take advantage if they get a couple more kills and maybe into a Roshan.
Yeah, and I must say, I'm not a big fan of the Battle Fury in this game on the Juggernaut. Most of the... You have your Invoker farming up, he's going for Jaghanim, he is slowly recovering. Is the Battle Fury really the item you want here? Like, you're banking on your Invoker to become big in the mid to late game. Feels like something like along the lines of a Blink Dagger, or even going for something like a Silver Edge would be really beneficial for them, just to have an answer to the Tidehunter. Because we've seen what Tide just did for them.
Yeah, and they could fight around that Ravage, in my opinion, for CDC. They have the ability to farm so quickly and farm on these cores as Hookshot comes out, but I don't know if TZY is going to be happy with this. He's sent back with the glimpse. There's the Primal Spring on a 2. Wukong's command, the ulti from SGR, just not in the right spot. And they will lose that Witch Doctor, but that comes at the cost of Hookshot. Meanwhile, SGR's Maledict gets the kill on a TZY. So it ends up being a trade, a couple of ultimates used there. CDC, in my opinion, come out ahead on that one.
Yeah, they definitely come out ahead because they're the team with the Gyrocopter, and they lost the Witch Doctor for Clockwork. That's just Witch Doctor position 5, Clockwork on position 3. That's worth it in general. And that BKB is finishing up on the Gyrocopter. It's gonna be such a key timing. It's also super farmed. Like 20 minutes, you have an SNY, you have a Mask of Madness, and a BKB up. That is an insane timing. That means you can dodge pretty much all the damage coming out from both the Clockwork as well as most of the Invoker stuff.
I was talking about how... Who is it who is playing the Gyrocopter? It was... One game it was XSS, and I think that was the game I talked about where his farm impressed me. But this game alone, Seamew is impressing me. He has been farming, pushing, fighting so effective and efficiently that, like you said, he's going to have this BKB soon, and then right into the Butterfly. What could they do to really slow down the gyrocopter. They have to throw everything at him.
Yep, pretty much, and that's what we were talking about with the Battlefield on the Juggernaut. You really lack the damage to aggressively go for these kills on the gyrocopter. Because your Juggernaut doesn't want to fight now. He wants to farm, maybe split push a little bit, and give Invoker space with it, but you have Cheerios that are, again, insanely farm hungry, and all you have is a Monkey King who doesn't have Jingu because he's in position 4. And the position 4 Monkey King will not really do much against the gyrocopter and it's not farmed already.
Ooh, on the back lines, TZY, he's in a little bit of a rock and a hard place right now. Battery Assault comes through, now the Ball Lightning comes out, TZY, Sunstrike is there, gets the kill on SGR, TZY falls, and now you take a look. Ravage is ready and available, but there's the Tornado. Homing Missile will land on the DY, they find him, they've got the Anchor Smash, they've got the damage, bouncing around in these trees, don't know if it's enough. The Ball Lightning, Setsu finally out of mana, but Simu is godlike. That's a double kill for him. And meanwhile, top, Life No Color, forcing this team back as he starts to take the tier 3.
And that is a good sign for them. Like, yes, they lost the fight bottom, but not that much net worth advantage actually going the way of CDEC, because those kills are actually almost no worth at all. And they did some damage at the top, Jack got some farm, and most importantly, they forced them back. And by forcing them back, they do not lose any objectives. There's not that many to take left. The mid lane is pretty open, was untouched so far, but T1 Tower will fall fairly soon. And looking at CDEC, they don't have the best Roche lineup. They have some minus armor with the Gush from the Tidehunter, but beside that, there's not much they can actually throw it against the Roche, so with the Invoker, you never want to fight in that area anyways.
How do you feel about the build that this Monkey King, that DY went for? Because I feel like Jingu Mastery this late, he almost forced himself into an interesting build where that Jingu Mastery wasn't there early game, where I feel like that did cost him a couple of kills.
I mean, maybe cost him 1 or 2 kills. On the other hand, you really want that max slow coming at a Primal Spring as well as having the stun. He's full utility. You see it with the Glimmer Cape, you see it with the Urn of Shadows. He's there to zone people. He's there set up for the Invoker.
They're looking for the hookshot. They're looking for something. They've got the Ravage. Omni Slash comes through, but that's going to be mitigated quite well. They've got the Wukong's command with the call down coming out. Life No Color trying to get the kill on Simu. Pops that BKB. Now they've got the ulti from the Witch Doctor with the Glimpse on back into the Static Storm. DY will get the kill on SGR, but you take a look. The Ravage hits on everybody from VG.P. And now coming in is Setsu with the Ball Lightning, but the cogs are there. It locks in a couple of these heroes. They've already got the Ravage out, so they don't really need this Tidehunter, but the hookshot comes through on Simu. He's in a lot of trouble with the Battery Assault hitting his way. He's got to try and run. There's the Glimpse, but it's not in time. They'll take out Simu. 3 dead on the side of CDEC. TZY continuing to move on forward. Finally, Go Kings drops. And this Storm needs to try and get out, but the Boundless Strike is there. DY still running forward. Into the trees he goes, out of the kinetic field with the Primal Spring landing, as well as the Tornado. Sunstrike coming down, but denying himself will be Setsu. And VG.P come out ahead in that exchange.
Come out ahead in this exchange, but still, it's still a 4k net worth lead. Like, CDEC did not lost any momentum here. Yes, it kinda is bad that they lost some Bloodstone charges on the Storm Spirit. That has to hurt, but on the other hand, they're the team that has to bring the pressure from the, if you're looking at potential, like, potentially can't sit around and wait for the gyro to get bigger and bigger. They have to bring all the aggressive Dota out, they have to go for the rotations, and CDC knows that, and we're gonna make some slight pushes, but we don't overcommit to pushing line.
CDC a little bit feel like they've kind of pulled off the gas. Going for that Roche, I feel like they could have been aggressive, go for a fight again. Meanwhile, Ball Lightning, exactly what I was talking about. Now they're going on to the Invoker. Alucard's got to bounce back into the Static Storm as well as the Glimpse, but he's sent back by Chen. Now you take a look over at DY with a Boundless Strike hitting on a 3 BKB pop by Simu with a Flat Cannon Omni Slash coming through from the Juggernaut. Not mitigated properly with the Blade Fury now from Life No Color. He's able to escape, and the BKB is wasted from Simu. Hookshot comes out, but that's on Creeps. Glimpse on back. That might have saved the life of the Clockwork. Glimmer Cape is here from this Monkey King, keeping him alive, but homing missiles out. Setsu low, in a lot of trouble. Ball Lightning, can he get away? Just not far enough away from TZY. That's a problem, because that's 2 consecutive deaths. And now they look over at the Tidehunter with a Boundless Strike. Blade Fury raining damage onto him, but just not enough to clean him up. So CDC, they're starting to throw this game away. It looks so good for them, but VG Potential are looking really good at tightening it up and clawing their way back into it.
And they really nicely utilized the EMP from the Invoker with the on the Storm Spirit, just using the Power Cogs to actually knock him back after there was a setup stun. Just burning all the mana from the Storm Spirit, and he's not at a point where he has enough mana regen to reliably jump away after an EMP.
I just feel like CDEC threw away an advantage that they could have worked with, but at the same time, I wouldn't exactly call it a throw, because VG Gaming Potential played it perfectly. And as I say that, Alucard down over bottom, he's going to drop Setsu Ball Lightnings in to make sure he gets himself a Bloodstone charge.
Guess the CDEC train does not stop rolling. Now they're going to have that secure rush. Yeah. I don't see Potential actually committing to any rush right here, not with Ravage up and running, unless they really want to buy back the Invoker, but that would be too obvious, and CDEC will just back off immediately.
I mean, they got to think about going for the hook shot, and I think CDEC understand that, and they have to respect that. Omni Slash back up as well. And they're looking to sit back and maybe farm up a couple more items. Already this BKB on Seamew down to 8 seconds, and I think that might become a problem as Juggernaut, Life No Color, has been farming very well. He got this Battle Fury. We thought it might be a little bit too slow, but all of a sudden he's finding his stride, and it's only a couple of kills for him, but he's been the difference maker in terms of damage output.
Yeah, definitely, and he's also going for these extreme impact items with the Butterfly up next. I was thinking a little bit about he maybe wants to pick up a Diffusal Blade together with that Manta to just have some additional source of mana burn for the Storm Spirit. Even potentially against the Gyrocopter to lock him down in a fight. But I really like this Butterfly Rush, if he decides to go through with it. Basher would be another alternative he could aim for, just so they have one more stun against the Storm Spirit. Because it feels like after this Gyro falls, or if they somehow endure to all the team fight from CDEC, they only have to watch out for the Storm Spirit. And if they manage to bring down the Storm, then they can just kite the Gyro around.
Yeah, and something that I was thinking about as you were saying that with kiting the Gyro around, TZY is going for that Ags, and Clockwork's been pretty disruptive in these fights, especially, you know, just being able to get that battery assault on a couple of these heroes. He's had Cogs on multiple heroes multiple times. How do you feel about Ags into Nullifier for TZY?
I must say, the Agams is a little bit... I don't know if... Is this what you want? To go for that Aghanim's? I feel like they have enough initiation power with the occasional hook shot. I don't feel like it's going to have that much impact. I like the Nullifier. That is actually a nice little niche item if the Clockwork ever gets enough farm to do so. Because that locks down the Gyrocopter in the fight, but Aghanim's, well, usually I'm a fan of it because, let's face it, it's fun. You can hook to somebody every 12 seconds. It's still... Don't you want something like maybe a potential Shiva, get some extra armor up against a Gyrocopter for the team, as well as slowing him down a little bit?
I feel like he's been so disruptive that I almost like the Ags, and speaking of item choices, I think Seamew's already committing to the fact that it's a tight game and he needs to have the damage. Butterfly picked up, looking like he's going straight into the Satanic, and already committing to that possibility of the Divine Rapier, knowing that by the time he gets these items, if they haven't pushed, if they haven't won, it's going to come down to him picking up the Divine.
I'm a fan of it. Like, it works, right? There's no heavy lockdown that potentially just bursts him down. Once he has that Satanic, the only thing he has to watch out for is a big Omni Slash. As long as somebody in his team is there, they're gonna surely sacrifice whatever is needed just to Gyrocopter being alive. And I mentioned it earlier, that they're just gonna kite around the Gyrocopter. It's not really easy to kite around the Gyrocopter with a rapier.
They've almost killed him previously. Of course, that is not including the now Butterfly. Ooh, hookshot comes through, SGR in a lot of trouble. The Sunstrike lands, and down he goes. That does not include, obviously, the Butterfly. Won't include the upcoming Satanic that he gets. But they've come very close to killing Seamew, and and they've killed him only once, but he's been in danger a couple of times. So do you risk getting that Divine Rapier knowing that you've been in trouble a couple of times? And do you think he commits to it if he does spot Clockwork, finally picking up that Ags? And as I say that, there's going to be the Electric Vortex coming through under the Clockwork. Wukong's command glimpse back into the Static Storm with the Blade Mail, but that's not going to be enough. Sunstrike comes through, but that's not going to land on anything. DY just here with the Wukong's command, but no more Clockwork.
They're still hesitant to go for the duration. We actually saw the Chen ultimate coming out as well as Monkey King, but both a little bit too late to save the Clockwork. Just... oh, that's a nice smoke rotation. The faint retreat back into the jungle, shrining up and now immediately returning. Wouldn't be surprised if they actually go for the Rage Pit, but there's a creep in place, so they're just gonna... oh, they can't find DY.
Oh, waiting. His smoke pops. Quan has to be careful as well. Seamew is here. They've got Ravage to work with. They've also got that Blink Dagger ready in wait for this Tidehunter. They actually back off towards the Roche Pit. But this is a Hellbear already ready with the Tornado coming through as well as the EMP. The Balance Strike, the Force Staff forward from Seamew just to get out of there with a Force Staff on Seamew.
Still lost a lot of mana there in the fight, and that's gonna have a little bit of an impact. And Roche is not easily killed, not with the Invoker lingering around. And they're just buying time for the Monkey King ult. It comes up in 40 seconds, and there is that hookshot available as well. So they can lock people down if they want to.
TZY is looking for that opening using that Rocket Flare. I'm going to follow him for just a bit as I know he's looking for that hook shot. You take a look at Setsu. There's the Penitence with the Sunstrike. Balance Strike. Oh no! Go King stands in the way of the Clockwork. Hook shot comes through and they still get the kill on the Setsu. Life No Color gets it, but there's the Ravage. That's going to hit on a couple of these heroes. Now they look over at this Juggernaut who's being called back in with the Glimpse, and he's in a lot of trouble, but sent back home by this Chen. They take out the Witch Doctor, TZY trying to run away. There's the Cask bouncing around. They've got themselves 2 kills. They look over at Alucard. He's going to get quite low with the Rocket Barrage. They'll get the kill, but Seamew, he's out of mana. He's got to run away as Life No Color is back into this fight. The Glimpse on back, but the Blade Fury is there. So Life No Color not sent back, but will walk back on his own will.
It is 3 for 2, favoring CDEC actually. But, the real victim of these fights is the Bloodstone on the Storm Spirit, I must say, down to 6 charges only.
Yeah, Setsu's gotten down a couple of consecutive times, and he hasn't really been as effective. But they are still up 4,000 net worth, 10,000 experience for CDEC, which I think is quite important. And, I mean, people want it, I'll say it. It's about a 70% win rate for CDEC. Now, do you think, with Storm Spirit losing these Bloodstone charges, heading into the Satanic for this Gyrocopter, can Storm fall off like this a little bit? Like, do they have the luxury to let the Storm kind of lose these charges? Is Gyrocopter enough to hold this game?
I think the Gyro will be enough. They're just gonna use Storm Spirit as like the token to jump into the lineup. Try to find that perfect spot for the Ravage as a setup. If he survives, great. If not, we got a Gyro with a potential Rapier coming in. So they should be doing fine just with that. If he manages to somewhat block a hookshot from the Clockwork, that's great. If he somehow disables the Chen, that's great as well. So it's not really the most pressure on Setsu to actually get the money jumps on the Storm Spirit.
Oh, Setsu again. Boundless Strike, Sunstrike, Setsu. Oh, Ball Lightning, BKB just getting out. It looked like he was gone for good.
How did he hit that timing?
I can't believe he got out on that. Beautiful
I
play.
was so sure he's dead there. He had like 50 HP left.
It's a 10-second BKB, but well worth his life and those last remaining Bloodstone charges. But all of a sudden, Vici Gaming Potential, they go into Roshan. They've got the Solar Crest. They start to hit away. Alacrity on Life No Color coming through will be the side of CDEC, but not in time. Oh, maybe in time. I actually take that back. They look for... oh, no. They just picked up by the Juggernaut. Now they've got the Wukong's command. Tornado hits a couple of these heroes on the side of CDC with the Sunstrike coming through. The Static Storm on a Life No Color. He's trying to run on in, but there's the Ball Lightning. They'll get the first life. Down he goes. That's one dead, but he's got the Aegis. SGR trying to find a kill with that Death Ward. Now you take a look over at Life No Color. Waiting's going to hit the deck. Next is SGR, so now it's a 5-on-3 with the Electric Vortex. They'll kill with the Clockwork. Lotus Orb is used here, and they're just bouncing around in nice harmony as the Ravage hits onto 3. That's going to be enough to get DY down. And now they look at Life No Color. BKB popped here by Seamew to look over at Alucard. He's also popped that BKB, the Tornado, but Setsu with his own BKB. Blade Fury just getting out alive will be Alucard on this Invoker. Life No Color may not be at the same luxury as there's the Electric Vortex. With the double kill is Seamew. They look over at Chen. King goes down, and it is 4 dead on the side of Vici Gaming Potential.
440 trade, and this might be the breaking point. This might be exactly what CDEC needed. Because their Gyrocopter is now doing massive amounts of damage with the flag cannon, just always having that perfect target in the fights with the Chen creeps around. You can always bounce at least 3 to 4 attacks off the Chen tree to just hit everybody in the team fight. They were really patient, actually, slowly withdrawing from the Rage Pit in this direction and then just holding it in this area. And they're gonna get rewarded for it with it. Probably a 2-3.
No more mana here for the Tidehunter, and he was the one who saved the Gyrocopter's life, putting the Lotus Orb on their Gyro during that Omni Slash.
CDEC is gonna respect the power of the Invoker, so they're gonna back off. They're gonna have a little shrine party with the Tidehunter and the Gyrocopter, and back to farming it goes. He wants that Rapier, and I'm pretty sure he's just gonna follow it through. And once they have that Rapier, just run down the mid lane and hope you get the next Rage as well.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see if he does commit to this, especially with how close that was again. Like, he only survived there due to the fact that the Lotus Orb was put on him. So I just feel like, you know, you're really playing with fire. It's a rough call, but he has picked up the Demon Edge, so we're getting there. I really wish... Can casters get spectator items?
No, we can't. They're not privileged enough.
So I know that you get it for the Divine Rapier pickup.
You're gonna feel a lot of things. I think Curious Snipes up there wins, of course. I believe triple kills give items too.
Godlike sprees. There's a bunch of things.
I've never gotten anything.
I think I got one thing. It was during TI4. No, TI5, because I wasn't home for TI4.
BZZ partner said?
It was actually the legendary totem for Earthshaker. Spectator.
Wow. Yeah. That's probably the coolest drop of your... yeah, that beats me. I never get anything good.
I actually want to go to DAC because they have in-crowd drops. And I think First Blood, people in the crowd can win, like, replica Radiances. Ooh, glimpse on back. That's going to be to the low ground. They found King, but I don't know if that's going to be enough with the Boundless Strike coming through. They finally get the kill with the Sunstrike hitting on Setsu. He's back to 12 charges. He's really regained quite well.
That's a Shendown as well. But T3 falling. DD Gyrocopter. They can't fight this for another 5 seconds.
Yeah, DD Gyrocopter heading towards that Sacred Relic. There's the Wukongs. Oh, missed hookshot, but he's got the Ag, so up in 9 seconds. Balance Strike comes through, hits on Setsu and Seamew. They drop down the cogs. That won't push them back enough. Clockwork has the hookshot in just a moment. Tornado, okay. Hookshot comes through. There's the Blade Mail pop by TZY. But they'll lose the mid-racks. They don't get the Tornado. They don't get really anything to hit. TZY will be the next one to fall. Very interesting to see them kind of miss a bunch of spells there on the side of Vici Gaming Potential on a lot of these heroes that were basically standing stationary. They grab the mid set of racks, they look for the bottom tier 3 as well as that set of racks. The Balance Strike comes through, and now they look for the EMP as well as the Static Storm plays down Seamew very low, and that's why he can't pick up the Divine Rapier. But now you've got the Ravage coming out as well as the Hand of God. Down low is Life No Color. They're trying to chase him down. Setsu Ball Lightning forward, trying to get the kill, sent back by Chen. And now it looks as though CDEC need to try and get out. But the Cold Snap is there. That's going to find Tidehunter. They get the Kinetic Field out from the Disruptor. They look over at SGR. That'll be one. The Boundless Strike misses. TP out. And now the Ball Lightning as well as the TP from the Storm to escape there, as well as Quan walking away.
Really well executed high ground push coming in from CDEC. Just using the perfect pick-off and then just not taking any risk. And we actually saw a pretty neat spread with Storm sitting on the high ground over here. both supports on this side of the fight, so they don't get caught at the same moment. And we saw the gyro just rotating between those 2 points and just hitting the racks back and forth. That was really well executed, just not giving any more than one target for both the Clockwork as well as the Tornado from the Invoker. If they get caught there with 2 people and 1 spell from the Invoker, they're gonna lose for 2 people instead of 1. And now they lost the gyro, so that's not that cool for them. But on the other hand, it's only gyro and Witch Doctor for the full line of racks and a lot of damage on the bottom top.
Remember, the push comes in, and that'll force out the glyph on this tier 2. Will no longer be available for them if the push were to continue onto the high ground. They'll take the tier 2. With the gyro coming back up, I expect them to respect the power of CDEC and back off. Maybe wait for that next Roshan, but that is quite some time.
The next station is going to be a big turning point. Like, whoever snatches will probably either close out the game or get a racks on themselves. Usetsu
trying to go in. The ball lightning BKB. He moves on forward. The electric vortex into the static storm. The tornado comes through. That's going to stop the Tide Hunter. Left color trying to get away. And Chen again! Oh my god, are you kidding me? He sends him back with the most tiny, minuscule amount of health. And you take a look over as the Deafening Blast hits on Setsu with a Lotus Orb. There's the Ravage. That'll hit on the Invoker. Setsu, that is a ballsy play to stand there and try and trade with this side of Vici Gaming potential. He'll lose his life. He's down with no buyback for about a minute. Now you look over at Gokking. The Omni Slash bouncing around. I think it's got +5 on the jumps. Life no color. It is +5 on the Omni Slash strikes. They take out the Witch Doctor. 2 of them don't have buyback. Now they look over at Seamew. He's got to walk away. He doesn't even have this Divine Rapier. The Sunstrike's going to be a little bit ahead of him, but there's the Spirit Vessel. There's the kill, down for 99 seconds. He's got buyback, and all of a sudden, Vici Gaming potential, only losing the Clockwork, are threatening high ground.
They just cut the entire lead in half from CDEC. They were at 14, if not 15k, now down to 7, and that's with a Chen, so you're gonna have an infinite amount of catapults and traps. And also, you have that healing Mogul up in 2 seconds.
And there it is, into the tier 3. They cannot lose Seamew again, who's forced to use that buyback now. I feel like Divine Rapier is all or nothing at this time and place, and they get the Static Storm with the Glimpse, but the Hand of God is there. They send him back at the Ravage. Oh no! They get Gokking, but at the same time, Juggernaut sent back again. And I can't believe they continue to be able to do that. They will lose the Invoker, but again, Juggernaut is their lifeline, and they're able to get him out one more time. The ball lightning over, they look for DY into the trees, trying to get away, just gets away, and they only lose 2, all things considered.
I must say, no matter who wins this game, Gokking is definitely my MVP for this match. This is like the 3rd, if not the 4th time he saves the Juggernaut in a clutch moment with the Sandbag. Always perfectly timed, and this is completely without a mobility item as well. He doesn't have a 4-stuff, there's no Blink Dagger. He has nothing, and he's always in range to help out the Juggernaut. Like, solid communication coming out from them, and just ensuring that the Jug doesn't fall, and that plays a huge part. I think if this Jug fell once or twice, the game would have been over by now, and CDEC would have just taken the high ground once more.
Yeah, instead he's 7-3-7, where I feel like he could honestly be 7-7-7. It seems like every time he gets down to 200, 350 health, I'm Chen, and I send him back. Make it look
doing Chen stuff.
Yeah, basically Chen things.
Right, first Ravage up in 30 seconds, 60 to the double Ravage. The Roshan still not spawning, there's still 1.5 minutes.
I think the game plan here for CDEC is posture around the Roche pit, try and farm up this Divine Rapier, get an Aegis on the Gyrocopter, work with the Ravage, and fight. But that is a lot of things that kind of have to come through for them to make that happen.
Setsu. They're scouting it out as well. Just constantly throwing Sunstrikes and Rocket Flares into the pit. I like the smoke. This is not going to be expected by them.
Let's take a look at buybacks. It's available on the Jug and the Monkey King, but that is it throughout the entire game. Both teams, just 2 buybacks, and they both are on Vici Gaming potential. The smoke is to the high ground. They send the Forge Spits forward. The scan is there from the Dire, but it's not going to spot anything. Meanwhile, a counter smoke play. There's the smoke broken by TZY. He's going to look for the hook shot. There's the blink on forward with the Hex coming through, but the Ravage is going to hit onto the Invoker with the Omni Slash on the back lines. I'm pretty sure that hits onto the Witch Doctor. That gets the kill. There's the second Ravage. They'll take on the Invoker. He's got no buyback, but that's not going to hit onto Life No Color. But he's also got himself no longer an Omni Slash. They'll send back one of these heroes on the side of Vici Gaming Potential and lose the life of Gouking. He uses that Hand of God. Maybe I spoke a little bit too soon, but I was pretty solid with that statement, and he will end up falling. And with that, I think that opens up Roche. That opens up this Aegis attempt in just a couple of seconds when he does respawn, and with that, it should bring them the Divine Rapier as well.
I must say, is the Rapier too greedy? Or what's your opinion on this? Like, is this just an item you go for, where you just say, what else can I get? I'm gonna get a Rapier because it's the most cost-efficient item in comparison? Or is it more of like, I'm so far ahead, I want this Rapier?
It's almost like when Medusa used to just be like, alright, I know I can get a Divine Rapier at this point, I'm practically unkillable, and here we go.
Oh, that CDEC viewer is actually getting a prize day.
Divine Rapier is picked up with double damage. They will clear this Roshan out so fast.
Look at his crits.
And he's got to make space for this Aegis. I think he's got to be the one who holds it. It can't be Cheese. It has to be the Aegis.
This is where Gyrocopter comes in. He's gonna drop his potentially drop his boots into the backpack. There we go.
Has to be.
And he's still running on 460 movement speed because Gyro plus 50 movement speed on the level 20 talent together paired with the butterfly. On an active, he runs at a haste rune. If it's not active, 460 still faster than anybody else on his team. This is just the power of the Gyrocopter and a pretty strong talent if you ask me. 50 movement speed, that's not a small bonus.
He really doesn't even need boots at that point, but since he's not 6-slotted, he still holds on to them. And there's the Primal Spring, but that's going to put him in a little bit of trouble. They use the Orchid, that's going to hit onto the Invoker, but he uses the BKB. So they bring DY back in. Balance Strike comes through. Hook Shot is going to miss. They take out the Monkey King. He was the last one to have buyback, as I recollect, but this is a couple minutes ago. So the Juggernaut has it, still Storm, and now the Clockwork has it. So 3 heroes here. Buyback forced out on the Monkey King, and that's a kill and a buyback in favor of CDEC. So what's it at now for win probability? About 80%, I'd say. Or 85.
86%, 40% win rate. I will not actually calculate that. It is a neat little graphic, but I want more stats on this.
Oh, it actually gives you the actual percent on the bottom. I didn't see that. I was just going off where the line stood.
Yeah, I needed about 40 minutes until I realized I can actually just look at the bottom instead of like making out the rough estimate. Nice that they included that.
So Divine Rapier is still available, and I feel like to make the best of it, they need to go in when he has the Aegis. You cannot go in there confidently, especially with how quickly the Juggernaut's been able to dispose of him without the Aegis. The hookshot comes through, that's going to lock him in with the cogs. Oh no, Gyrocopter in a lot of trouble, but the Omni Slash goes the wrong direction. They've got the BKB from Simu. They'll take out SGR, they'll take out Quan, but now in Static Storm is the Juggernaut. He gets killed off. They'll take out the Clockwork, and both of them die, and one of them uses buyback, and there are buybacks around the horn from the Witch Doctor, the Tide, the Clock, and the Juggernaut. The Tornado, the EMP, Setsu, BKB. Now he looks over at the Invoker, who uses that Ghost Walk with the Sentry Wards down here for the side of Vici Gaming Potential. Keeping my eye on Simu, still has that Aegis.
There's still a double Ravage coming out. Tide just bought back into the fight, so...
Oh my god, look at that flat cannon. Gouking forced to use that Hand of God. They look over at Life No Color. DY is going to jump back to these trees, but this ball lightning is doing quite a bit. Setsu low on mana, so he's got to be very careful. His hookshot actually goes with the Disruptor from the Force Staff. That locks in Simu, but it's not going to be enough. There's the Ravage hitting on a 4. They look for more. Double Ravage. Simu hitting away at this team with a call down coming through. They'll get themselves 2 as TZY as well as Alucard drop. They look for Life No Color, but he won't fall just yet. Gouking will be the third one to hit the deck. No buyback for the side of Vici Gaming Potential, and CDEC looking to wrap it up with tier 4s up 21,000 net worth. The first tier 4 will drop. Life No Color gets the kill on SGR, but that'll be at the expense of his life. And there's a multi-kill again for Simu, giving 2 more viewers a nice, handy reward.
BTZ set.
Yeah, and there's the BKBs, and there's the Ancient, and game 1 goes the way of CDEC.
Glorious victory, indeed. Just... little bit of a rocky road, delaying that rapier or getting that rapier delayed, but in the end it worked out flawlessly.
Yeah, it looked really good for them at times for CDC. A little bit of a bumpy road towards the mid-game there, and we could see it if we look at the graph as it kind of bumped back up. Oh, it's actually got win probability on there too. I didn't notice that either. And you take a look towards about the 30-minute mark where you thought maybe they were throwing it away a little bit too much, where the aggression was biting them. But they brought it back and they continued on the right path to win this game 1. And now you kind of wonder, where's this group at? Because all of a sudden, IG lost the game to Vici Gaming Potential, but CDC took game 1. Where does everybody really stand? I know this is day 1 with a bunch of teams with new rosters coming into play, but this is shaking things up, and it's just day 1. It's very interesting to see new lineups, new teams, and you take a look at CDC, especially what the Gyrocopter was able to do. Simu, 22-3-18, and that is nothing to take away from the side of Vici Gaming Potential, who looked really good at times. Life No Color, 11-5-7, at moments looked like he was the strongest hero there, doing 33,000 damage. Number 2 on his team, actually. Hero damage was, number 1 was the Clockwork, and I think that's due to the Blade Mail. And let's take a look. Top of that damage is, of course, Simu at 57,948, 22-3-18. CDEC take game 1 in this set of 2 in the group stage round robin of Group A. And we'll be back with game 2 in just a moment. Vici Gaming Potential fall to CDC. They have a 1-0 lead going into this game 2. I'm your caster, B-Cop, at BCop92 on Twitter. I'm joined here by Potom of the Moon, and he is on Twitter at Potom_of_the_Moon. Follow us both if you like our casting. Let us know if you think we could switch up a couple things. We're both looking to grow as casters, so we are looking for advice all over the place. Let us know in chat, and we'll be back with game 2 in just a moment. Thank you guys so much for watching.